my traveling friends. This is Beth, the Tinker Mom, with my very first video about how you can integrate school with traveling with your child to make it an educational experience that's wonderful for everyone. So I have a few general tips today just about how you can work with your child's teacher around traveling. This is very especially important if you are going to be taking your child out of school for any time for your trip, which I do tend to do about once a year, just because it works out better for, there's less crowds, depending on where you're going. Airfare tends to be a better deal, and hotels tend to be a better deal when you're not on a school vacation. So sometimes the only way we can afford to travel with our children is if we do it not during school vacations when everyone else is doing it. But my very first tip for you, there are ways we can make this work with your child's teacher. The first thing is to look carefully at the school calendar and plan your trip during a time where there aren't any major school events. This would be such as required standardized testing where all students have to be present, or if your child participates in extracurricular activities, a school play that they participate in. If they're involved in music, then a concert such as a winter concert, or during their sports season if they play sports. You don't want to plan a trip during that time where your child would be missing out on games and practices. My second tip is after you do decide and you book your dates for your trip, that you contact your child's teacher and let them know your plans. Now, all teachers are different and some are a lot more understanding about this than others, but it's still important to let them know as far ahead of time that you'll be out of school, and that will allow them to plan for your child's learning. Also, let them know that you would like to get assignments and homework a couple of weeks before your trip if possible, anything that your child would be missing while they're away. Getting at least half of the homework or assignments that your child will be missing while you're away makes a huge difference for keeping up in school with your child. And if you can get that, it'll make coming back from vacation a lot easier on your child as well. Because coming back from vacation is sad enough. And coming back from vacation with a ton of homework to make up is really sad. So anything you can get and get done ahead of time during 2 weeks before your trip will be especially helpful when you get back from your trip. Third and last of all is try to meet with your teacher about 2 weeks ahead of your trip. That will be the time where you can get any assignments or homework that will be due during the trip, and also talk about what's going on in the classroom, what types of things the teacher is planning to cover during the time that you're away, and ask for any tips on reading materials such as books, music, any other activities that your teachers can suggest that will make the time that you're away a more valuable learning experience. I met with my child's teacher before taking my children to New Orleans. At the time, my children were in pre-kindergarten and first grade, and she was actually able to recommend some great books that we read before going on the trip. And they made the trip a lot better because the children had some idea of what to expect when we got to New Orleans, and it made it a really great learning experience while we were there. So that's it for this first video. Thank you for watching. Next time, I hope you'll look for another video in a couple of weeks. In the next video, I'm going to actually talk about that trip that I took with my children to New Orleans and let you know what I did to make that trip a great learning experience. And it was a great trip for all of us. So until next time, best wishes and magical travels, and we'll see you soon.